Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and today's report includes the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to lock up a quarterback this week. A Steelers wide receiver target is now free. These two Pittsburgh Penguins have been mentioned as top trade candidates, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the first news story of the day. The Pittsburgh Steelers are looking to lock up a quarterback this week. I want to start off today's video by wishing Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Justin Fields a very happy 26th birthday. On behalf of all of Steelers Nation, we hope that you have a good day of celebration, and how about you give us a reason to celebrate as well by re-signing with the black and gold soon. That scenario may become reality within the coming days, as on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, ESPN senior NFL insider Adam Schefter said the following: "The other place to watch this week would be the Pittsburgh Steelers because they currently do not have a quarterback under contract. It's tough to go into free agency to go add to your offense when you have no idea who's playing quarterback. And that's why I think they're going to spend this week working on getting a deal done with either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. I would imagine Justin Fields is first up in the pecking order. We'll see if they can get something worked out there. If not, it's easy to pivot onto Russell Wilson, and we'll see how this works out. But I would think Pittsburgh is determined to try to get one of these quarterback deals done in the coming days so that they have some clarity going into free agency. If Schefter is correct, it is crucial that the Steelers get one of these two, preferably Fields, back under contract as soon as possible. The new NFL league year and free agency officially begins this time next week, and if neither quarterback is brought back, both will hit the open market with plenty of suitors and slim chances of returning. Come on, Omar, give Fields a nice birthday gift and bring him back home." A Steelers wide receiver target is now free. Speaking of free agency, one wide receiver that is near the top of my offseason acquisitions list for the Pittsburgh Steelers is now officially on the open market. After choosing to join green and white over black and gold midway through last season, wide receiver Davante Adams has now been released by the New York Jets. This is not a surprising move by the Jets, as Adams was set to have a $38.2 million salary cap hit in 2025. Besides, they already moved on from Adams' buddy and quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Now that he is officially a free agent, rumors are circulating that Adams would like to go back to the West Coast and sign with a team like the Los Angeles Chargers or San Francisco 49ers. However, I can't yet completely rule out the possibility of him coming to Pittsburgh. On Up and Adams with Kay Adams a couple of months ago, the three-time All-Pro expressed his willingness to play for Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, saying, "Oh, 100%. I love Mike. I think anytime you have a coach that's a player's coach, you can tell that they got away with their guys. You know, those types of coaches, whether they coach me or not, they always win me over. Obviously a great coach, but he's a hell of a dude too." Without a doubt, adding Adams would give the Steelers one of the best receivers available to put opposite George Pickens. Man, I could see it right now. Pickens on the left, Adams on the right, with drafted Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka in the slot. I need that wide receiver trio like I need oxygen. And hey Davante, if you do decide to come to Pittsburgh, please don't bring Rodgers with you. Two Steelers position coaches are staying with the team. With the NFL scouting combine now behind us and free agency right around the corner, all those coaching changes that were said to be coming from Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin didn't happen. The only changes made were a couple of positional coaches getting swapped out, and as a matter of fact, two more were just given extensions. Per PennLive Steelers beat reporter Nick Farabaugh, the black and gold have re-signed defensive line coach Carl Dunbar and outside linebackers coach Denzel Martin. Both men's contracts were set to expire this offseason, but you had an idea this was coming, seeing how they were still around the team. In reality, if any two positional coaches earned a new contract with the Steelers, it's these two. Dunbar has been with the organization since 2018 and has constantly kept the D-line performing well. He was also heavily involved in on-field drills at the scouting combine this past week, telling us without telling us that he's sticking with the team and that he will be very influential in which defensive linemen the Steelers will draft. As for Martin, he joined the Steelers in 2016, but was only recently promoted to outside linebackers coach in 2023. Still though, it's the right idea to keep a familiar voice in that room as he continues to get the best out of highly skilled players like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig. No details on their contract have been released yet, but nonetheless, welcome back to the Burgh, Coach Carl Dunbar and Coach Denzel Martin. The Pittsburgh Penguins fight hard, but lose again. Last night, the Pittsburgh Penguins kicked off a 3-game road trip beginning in Denver against the Colorado Avalanche. In the opening period, the Pens had a couple of chances, but for the most part had to weather the storm of Colorado's high-powered offense. Fairly early into the second period, the Avalanche finally broke through with the game's first goal, but the Pens responded late in the frame with a tic-tac-toe goal from the top line, finished by Rickard Rakell. Taking that momentum into the third period, the Penguins were able to keep it close, but a costly penalty gave the Avs a golden power play opportunity that they did not miss. Tack on a pair of empty netters, and the Pens dropped their third straight game 4-1. I thought in this game that the Penguins fought all night long, but the result was expected. Sure, there were still some issues, like being way too passive in the offensive zone, but the effort was there, and that's all we're asking for. Losing sucks, but when you're vying for the number 1 pick in the draft, and you're losing with some dignity, it takes the sting out a little bit. The Pens are off today and tomorrow, but will be back in action late Friday night against the Vegas Golden Knights, and by then, we will know who is still on the team, and who has departed following Friday afternoon's trade deadline. These two Pittsburgh Penguins have been mentioned as top trade candidates. Speaking of the trade deadline, the Pittsburgh Penguins will undoubtedly be sellers this year, but how active will they be between now and 3 p.m. on Friday? The Pens have already made a couple of big trades earlier this year, selling off players like Lars Eller, Drew O'Connor, and Marcus Pettersson, but could their biggest move be coming soon? The Penguins still have their 2 biggest trade chips in forward Rickard Rakell and defenseman Erik Karlsson in their possession, but as expected, speculations surrounding both men are furiously swirling. Beginning with Rakell, 2 days ago, ESPN released a list of potential trades we could see at this year's deadline, with number 67 going from black and gold to black and powder blue. The article mentioned a deal between the Penguins and the Utah Hockey Club, sending Rakell across the country in exchange for young forward Matias Maccelli, a 2025 first-round draft pick, and a 2026 second-round draft pick. Now looking at Karlsson, Sportsnet NHL insider Elliot Friedman said on his most recent 32 Thoughts podcast that the 3-time Norris Trophy winner will be mentioned a lot in the coming days, but with his no-movement clause in place, a trade will be hard to do until the summer. Friedman also said that other Penguins players like fourth-line forward Noel Acciari could be on the move, and that he believes Penguins general manager Kyle Dubas is trying to pick up a few of the Buffalo Sabres young players and prospects, mentioning forward JJ Peterka as one option. In my opinion, I don't think either of these two will be traded at the deadline for various reasons, and it's so hard for me to say that, seeing that it's such a seller's market right now, with first and second round picks getting thrown around like candy. Buckle up everyone, the next 48 hours are going to be head spinning. MLB Pipeline releases their top 30 prospect rankings for the Pirates. Right now, we are fully entrenched in MLB spring training, but let's take a minute to look a bit into the future of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last night, MLB Pipeline dropped their top 30 prospects for all teams in the AL Central and NL Central. Instead of going through the Bucs' entire list, here is their top 30 for you to see, but I will point out that the top 5 notably includes a few spring training darlings this year, with right-handed pitcher Bubba Chandler at number 1, shortstop and center fielder Connor Griffin at number 2, right-handed pitcher Thomas Harrington at number 3, and second baseman Nick York at number 5. A couple other notes I'll make is that a few names rose up and fell down the rankings compared to last year. Those players are third baseman Jack Brannigan, moving up from number 14 to number 11, shortstop Yanni Severino, moving up from number 17 to number 12, left-handed pitcher Anthony Solometo dropping down from number 7 to number 14, right-handed pitcher Carlson Reed moving up from number 28 to number 20, and outfielder Lonnie White Jr. dropping down from number 19 to outside the top 30. Like I said near the end of last week, there are a few names to keep an eye on in the Bucs pipeline this season who should continue to climb up the system very quickly. And finally, an update on this injured Pirates pitcher. On Monday, the Pittsburgh Pirates claimed right-handed relief pitcher Justin Lawrence off waivers from the Colorado Rockies. To make room for Lawrence on the 40-man roster, the Bucs placed right-handed starting pitcher Johan Oviedo on the 60-day IL with a new right lat muscle injury. Oviedo has since gotten a second opinion on his injury, and now an update has been given by Pirates Senior Director of Sports Medicine Tom Tomczyk. According to Tomczyk, the 27-year-old will have his right arm and elbow looked at again in 4 weeks by sports orthopedic surgeon Dr. Keith Meister. At that time, in early April, a return to throwing program will be determined, with the current goal being for Oviedo to start tossing again in 6 weeks at the earliest. Once again, this has nothing to do with his prior Tommy John injury that cost him all last season, So let's hope that this new issue heals up quickly and that he can make a return to the big leagues later this year. Tomczyk also provided updates on a few other injured Bucks as well. First baseman Spencer Horwitz is likely to miss the start of the season with his right wrist injury, as he has not yet begun throwing, but will begin hitting off the tee within the week. Right-handed relief pitcher Hunter Stratton is throwing off the bump and is continuing to increase his workload after his devastating knee injury late last year. And right-handed relief pitcher Dauri Moreta continues to throw bullpens with no setbacks or issues in his return from Tommy John surgery. Get well soon, Buccos, and can't wait to see you back on the field. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a Wednesday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news.